Welcome to today's reading. It's great that you can be with us again. Today we're starting to look at what Jesus was going through as he approached his death on the cross. So we're in Luke chapter 22, verses 39 to 46. Jesus went out as usual to the Mount of Olives, and his disciples followed him. On reaching the place, he said to them, "Pray that you will not fall into temptation." He withdrew about a stone's throw beyond them, knelt down and prayed, "Father, if you are willing, take this cup from me. Yet not my will, but yours be done." An angel from heaven appeared to him and strengthened him, and being in anguish he prayed more earnestly, and his sweat was like drops of blood falling to the ground. When he rose from prayer and went back to the disciples, he found them asleep, exhausted from sorrow. "Why are you sleeping?" he asked them. "Get up and pray so that you will not fall into temptation." Well, here we see the immense suffering that Jesus went through even before he was nailed to the cross. He was in great anguish, in deep distress and sorrow. Now we may think, well, that's because he was anticipating his death, which would have been awful, and the physical pain that went with it. Being crucified was horrific. But you know, that wasn't the main reason for his anguish. The main reason was because of what he was going through to save his people. Notice what he prayed when he talked to his Father. He said, "Father, if you are willing, take this cup from me." That phrase, "this cup," was an Old Testament metaphor referring to the cup of God's wrath. And what it meant was the punishment of God against people for things they'd done wrong. Now, that's what we deserve. We deserve the punishment of God against things that we've done wrong. We've rebelled against God, we've broken his laws, we've ignored him, and we've done wrong against other people. And so because God is rightly angered at all that is wrong, well, we deserve his punishment and just wrath against us. We deserve to drink the cup of God's wrath. Well, Jesus was preparing to take the cup of God's wrath himself. But that wasn't because he'd done anything wrong. He was doing it for his people. He was taking it so that they could be saved. Now, for Jesus to do that, he was going to take on the guilt and the shame and the dirt of his people's sin on himself. And that's what's causing him such great anguish here, or part of the reason. Jesus, who is so pure and perfect, was greatly distressed at then being counted as somebody who is a sinner, who'd done things wrong. So somebody who is so pure, so perfect, would then feel so awfully the weight of sin. So that was part of the reason for Jesus' anguish. The other part is knowing what he would have to go through to be able to pay for that sin. Well, Jesus was going to face the anger of his Father coming against him. Now, Jesus and his Father had been in perfect relationship all through eternity. Jesus, the Son of God, and the Father were perfectly united, perfectly loving one another, had a perfect relationship. But when Jesus was going through to the cross, he would be facing, in that moment, his Father turning against him in anger, punishing Jesus. That perfect relationship which he'd enjoyed with the Father was going to be broken so that Jesus could take the punishment that his people deserved. That brought him great sorrow and anguish as he was anticipating that. But notice what he says. He says, "If you're willing, take this cup from me, yet not my will, but yours be done." Jesus is willingly offering himself. He's not being forced to go to the cross. He's willingly going through that in obedience to his Father, but also out of immense love for us. So do you see then how great Jesus' love is? That he was willing to endure all of this to be able to save us. You see, if we put our trust in him, he will pay for our sin. What he did on the cross there will be for us, will be for you if you trust in him. If you ask him to pay for your sin, confess your sin to him, truly sorry for it, ask him to pay for it, and he'll pay for it in full. So great is his love that he sacrificed his life so that we can be spared and so that we can have heaven as our hope. So Jesus' love is amazing. To go through all of this, to become sin for us. He who had known no sin, who had committed no crime, became sin for us and took the wrath that we deserve so that we can be forgiven. Have you asked Jesus to do that for you? Why not do that now? Accept his immense gift of his wonderful love, that he went through all that to be able to save us. God bless.